Alright guys, so welcome back to another video. So today I have two shafts. I have the Recoil shaft, which is a shaft that I always liked over the years. I tried, I think 3 years ago at a club fitting, and it felt amazing. I almost bought them, but they were really expensive, so I decided not to get them. And then over the years I always tried the Recoil shaft on different versions, and every single time I was really happy with the ball flight, with the feel. I also had a lot of comments on the Recoil shaft, and there was a lot of people, a lot of my subscribers who tried them, and they were always happy with them. There was not one single one who wasn't happy with the Recoil shafts. They tried different versions, and they were all happy with them. So I think a lot of times golfers don't even try graphite because they have like a bad, it turns them off. That maybe graphite is for them, but they don't want to admit that. And I think it's a pity because even a PGA Tour player like Snedeker, I made a video on it. If you want more details, make sure to check that out. He uses graphite, and he describes it, you know, it's like it's easier on my elbows, on my back. I can swing better with the graphite. So he's a PGA player and he uses graphite shaft. So why not, you know, we're amateurs, we could just try them. Okay, so the way I'm gonna do the testing to avoid any preference of either shaft, I'm just gonna hit my steel shaft without looking at the screen. I'm gonna actually turn the screen off. I'm just gonna hit 5 shots into a green. Then I'm gonna hit 5 shots with the other shaft, and I'm never gonna look at any of the shots until the testing is over, and then I will go over it after. Screen turn off, I'm just gonna have the iPad there, but I'm not gonna look at it, so I'm just gonna take 5 shots with each shaft, and then I'm gonna look at the results. I think this will avoid any preference, and sometimes when you do these testings, I think as you hit them, you'll see the results, and then you start to like believe in or what you can do with one in this case shaft. You know, maybe you hit a better shot with one and then you start hitting better shots, or you hit a bad shot with one and then you start hitting worse shots, and I think this will avoid that. Okay, so remember that I didn't know where the balls were going. I was just trying to hit 5 good shots. Now this is a green that require 135 carry to get it just on the green. Slightly downhill with a pitching wedge, I can normally carry from 125, from 120 to 125, and unfortunately I wasn't getting there. But this is how I swing. You know, normally my flow is to get a little bit off the toe. Some of the shots were pretty good, but some of them were off the toe, and whenever I hit it off the toe, it seemed to lose some distance. This was actually pretty good. 130 with a pitching wedge slightly downhill. It wasn't bad. But it was my honest swing. I mean, I was just trying to swing as good as possible and trying to get it out there. I knew that I needed to swing a little faster because I knew that there was water, and I tried my best. And this one right here wasn't that bad. It was just that to carry on that part of the green, it required to even it required more distance. So, but anyways, my misses were a little bit right, a little bit left. But this is the results with my steel shaft. Okay, now I had the recoil, so 5 good shots with the recoil. Again, I had no idea. I didn't even know what happened on the first 5 with the steel, so I was trying to swing. And look at this, the very first shot cleared the green. So I guess that means that with the recoil you get a little more distance, I would say. Honestly, I was trying to swing the same. I felt like, at least I felt like that. So you can see that still some hits off the toe, and this one right here was just like the steel shaft, and the feel was about the same. I don't really feel on some shots, I guess it did feel smoother than my steel shaft, but I didn't feel it like super flexible at all. So look at this shot. This was my best shot right here with the pitching wedge. I was able to clear the green and go to the back. So, and this particular shot felt pretty good. So, and it was straight. So, definitely this shaft I think is pretty good. You have to try it for yourself. And another thing I want to add is the height. It felt like it was going a little higher than my steel shaft. But as far as dispersion, I think it was about the same. So you don't lose that much dispersion with this graphite shaft. I think my last shot went a little bit to the left, this one right here, but it wasn't that bad. So overall, I would say that the recoil was maybe now that I'm seeing the video, was a little better than my steel shaft. Okay, so I did look at the results now, and that's a big difference. And I want to be honest, I hit 5 shots. I had no idea where they were going, and I can see that the recoil shaft was a little more forgiving. The way it felt, actually didn't really feel that difference, I have to be honest. On some shots it felt nice and smooth, but there wasn't the huge difference in my opinion. But seeing the results, I can see that with the recoil shaft I could carry a little longer with a pitching wedge, and it was a little more forgiving, as you can see, because on the short ones I got in the water with the pitching wedge, but with the recoil I was always pass the water. Now it was a little bit of a stretch for me because I was 135 to the pin, and it was a pitching wedge, a little downhill, but it was like probably was better a 9 iron for me. But I just wanted to put the hole so you can actually see that, you know, I'm trying to give a good swing. That way I could try to clear the water. So it was my honest swing. I wasn't tweaking anything. So these are the actual results. Okay, so this time I will start with the recoil, and this is another green. There's no pressure in this green because there's no, I think it's just a banker, so it was a straight 125 shot green and no elevation at all. The first one there was a little bit of elevation, so this is the actual distance. And started with the recoil, and here I felt it. Honestly, I felt it about the same. I'm not sure why, because when the first time I tried the recoil, I felt better, much more smoother. But the dispersion was pretty good overall here. But there was no like longer shots as the first time I tried it on the first session. So I'm not sure if it's, you know, the way I was swinging was different. But on this session right here, on these 5 shots, there was no shots that went farther like it did on the first one. But I did try to hit it a little more. There was no pressure on this one, so I tried to hit it just as normal, standard, my stock shot. And so it was carrying actually about 115 to 120. So, but again, on these shots, I felt no pressure, so there was no water to clear. And I have to say that that was, I guess, if you don't have any pressure, you're just gonna swing a little smoother, in my opinion. So this was the only one that went a little bit to the left. But overall, I think the dispersion was great. Okay, so now I have my steel shaft. Again, I had no idea what happened on the first 5 shots, so I started swinging. Again, no pressure, but I noticed on this session that I have to say I was more in sync. I was swinging a little better, and as you can see on these 5 shots, it felt like everything went really, really straight. So I felt maybe a little more control, I would say, than the recoil. And now that I'm looking at it, and actually on one there was a little more distance, so it was kind of the opposite of what happened on the first session. I'm not sure if it has to do because I went first or second, but I think a lot of times that's what happens when you're reviewing shafts or clubs. It has a lot to do with which club you try first and which one second. But anyways, the way it felt, they both felt pretty good. And on the steel shaft, I guess the main thing is that I'm gaming the shaft right now, so obviously I'm gonna be more used to it. And as you can see, I was swinging pretty good, and I was carrying from 115 to 120 on this no pressure shot. So it did change on the first session when there was a little more pressure. And this was my last shot. Again, no pressure, and my dispersion on this one was there. I mean, you can literally see my 5 shots right there next to each other. So it was pretty good. This was a pretty good session for my steel shaft. The recoil wasn't bad, but it was better with my standard shaft. Okay, so I just saw the results, and unfortunately on that one, I guess I did better with my steel shaft. I'm not sure if it's due to the fact that this was straight. There's no hazard. Maybe on the hole before I knew that there was water, so I needed to give it a little more, and then maybe I kind of messed my shots up like that. I think ultimately the recoil could probably go a little farther. I'm not sure if you try to give it more, if you're going to lose it to the left, as you've seen in the video. It's just a matter of trying, I think. but if you don't try them, you're never gonna know. As far as the feel, I know I say in the past that it feels really different, but today for some reason they felt about the same. I think on the really good shot, this one felt, the recoil felt better, but then on the last shot that I had, my shaft felt good too. So I would say about the same in this case. Obviously we have different heads, but the same loft, so there could be a difference there too. So I think the best test to do will be to do with the same head, and maybe try other clubs, other irons as well. But tell you what, right now, Recoil, this is an old discontinued shaft, so maybe if you try some of the newer shafts, you will see more difference. I was amazed on the first session where I hit some shots, and with this shaft I was like, I think I carried one like 145 with the pitching wedge. So that was, I know it was slightly downhill, but it was you can get some distance with the Recoil if you catch it right. All right guys, so that was just a quick video, a quick comparison between the Recoil shaft and my steel shaft. I know some of my subscribers asked me for a review with numbers, so I gave you the numbers there. Unfortunately on the first testing, when I tried my shaft first and then the Recoil was better, but then on the second testing my steel shaft was better, I think slightly better. So it's not like a clear win. I would say it's about the same for now. Obviously you have to understand that I'm used to hitting with my steel shaft, so that could also be part of it. If I get used to hitting with this shaft, you could see that some of the shots were way longer, so maybe I can get some more distance. As far as the dispersion, I'm not sure if that's the case, but again, if you try them, if you see them, try them out, because there is some good shafts out there, some good Recoil shafts out there, and I think it will make a difference in your game. So anyways guys, I hope this was helpful, especially for some of my subscribers to ask me to make this video. So again, I put all the data there, make sure to check it out and try to understand which one is for you. For me, I think I will have to do a proper fitting, and I will probably prefer some of the newer Recoil shaft, because this one is discontinued, so I will try to like try maybe the latest model in shaft and then see if it's really for me or not. So anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Until next time.